first, let me introduce myself. I realize I haven't done that. So I'm Roberto. I'm founder and CEO at Subvisual. We are in the Subvisual office right now. It's a company that's been going for 15 years, and we are a product and venture studio. So we build companies and products for other companies. And we have been lucky to work in crypto/blockchain for a few years. First product was actually in 2012. And we have done a few other things. One of the projects that we built was called uTrust, and actually originally this was uTrust office. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for accepting. Maybe we start with just the three of you doing like a quick intro for everyone's benefit, and then we'll kick off with the feature. João,
Sounds great. Absolutely, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is João Moreira. I'm the founder of Mystic. Came from Lisbon to this beautiful city for a short little stint, so thanks for having me. We've been building in crypto since early 2022. We messed around with different stuff, different technologies, different products. What we're focusing on at the moment is an RFQ DEX for RWAs and RWA instant liquidity. So very excited to talk about what's going on in this space from my perspective, what I've been looking at in the market, and what we think is happening next year.
Thank you. I'm José Pedro. I'm a developer. Was a DevRel for a few years in a very known privacy project. Currently work at Conduit, roll up as a service. So very related with the EVM ecosystem, and yeah, very happy to be here. It's not my first time, but it's always a nice office and nice people coming here. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Tiago.
Hi everyone, I'm Tiago. I'm from Porto. Not the first time in Braga, obviously. I'm a computer scientist by training. Been working in many companies. I think I created about 40 companies, 99% failed. The ones that didn't, well, I was very lucky to work with excellent people. My last crypto company was a good success, I presume. We did the first IDO ever in the markets. It's called Polka Starter. We helped companies raise about 100 million in 2 years. So we scaled the team from 0, 3 founders. I was one of them, to 60 people, and we sold it to Ape Terminal last year. In the meantime, I was a CTO, but after I left, I've been working with nonprofits, and now I have a new project with the team, some of the team from uTrust, some of the team from Subvisual. Yeah,
awesome.
Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. We are going to get started, taking a little bit of the João Zamit's talk and reflecting on the past year and moving to the next one. So my question for the three of you, and we'll go in a circle, is what did you guys were excited about last year, and what you continue to be excited moving to this year? And we can start with Tiago and go the other way around.
So the question is what I was excited about last year and what I'm excited about this year?
Yeah, what you continue to be excited about?
Continuing to Pedro Zamit's talk, he said something, like the whole theme of the talk was very resonant to what I had a thesis a long time ago. We used to discuss this with friends that were passionate about Web3 before even Web3 was a thing. And one of the things I used to say is, if Web3 works, no one knows. No one will know, because there was a big misconception in the beginning that everyone was going to use MetaMask and everyone was going to use Ledger. I really never believed that. I think it was always an infrastructure play to actually replace the whole financial ecosystem. And we still have a lot more things to do. So I think we're just starting out. In terms of 2026, I don't know. I think I'm very looking forward to see how the Bitcoin ecosystem further develops than what it already is. I think we've been working too much on EVM. Solana, I don't know too much about, to be honest, in terms of the ecosystem. But I'm really looking forward to see how Bitcoin, like the stacks and other frameworks, do in the next few years. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
José Pedro, you want to take a shot at it?
Privacy.
What a surprise!
Yeah.
I guess if you know me, I'm very bullish on privacy. I think it's so I was not very surprised with the whole Zcash thing and developments also in the team also that recently come along. It just seems like it's a missing piece when we talk about stablecoins, and it comes from what Pedro was saying again. About stablecoins and the adoption, and it's pretty amazing that these days you can use Privy, and it behaves like a normal wallet app, but everything is actually an embedded wallet or whatever. So that's pretty powerful, and it's very powerful also the amount of stablecoins around, even stablecoins that are denominated in euro. If you use them, they do exist. They don't have a lot of liquidity, but they do exist. So you actually can use them. And there's a lot of volume, but it's completely worthless if anyone can see on chain how much you spend where. So as long as we can solve this, then we definitely have a future for this year. So I think more than being bullish about crypto and Web3 in general, I'm very bullish about what privacy will bring. There are many privacy projects that are promising actual privacy, not necessarily at the level of providing privacy, function privacy or sender privacy, but also privacy, just amounts that are being traded in ERC20 tokens. And talking about Zama, talking about Aztec, obviously, talking about Maiden and other projects. So I think these will be probably on the headlines of 2026. Yeah, that's it. That's privacy, basically. That's all I see.
Awesome stuff, João.
Great. So I'll have a completely different angle at this. Like, I remember late 2024, mid 2024, I was really looking into RWAs. That was around the time we started building in this design space, and all that really existed was the early projects like Ondo, who were tokenizing treasury bills, money market funds. You had a couple other stabs from early movers. The only real DeFi activity you had around that was Flux Finance, which was a compound fork that Ondo did to get liquidity against their tokenized money market funds. And I was really expectant for 2025 on what would come. For this sector, you had a lot of noise, even from, I don't know, a decade ago, but we've always been talking about when the institutions would come, like to buy our bags or something like that. And I kind of expected, after seeing those early signs, that 2025 would be that year. And I think we kind of saw that a bit, which is really hopeful for the industry and really interesting for me, because it very much aligns with where I think this is going, which is the infrastructure angle that Tiago mentioned and that we talked about before. RWA TVL, so tokenized assets, absolutely exploded over 2025 from 6-7 billion to 35 billion, something like this, across different chains. We went from just money market funds to now there's stocks on chain, there's tokenized funds, there's private credit, in a way that the first generation of tokenized assets really didn't have, which is a crypto first approach, instead of trying to force a more Web2 native take on these financial assets. And so you're really starting to see a diversification of yield opportunities on chain, which really wasn't there in 2024 even. So in 12 months, it's a crazy change. It makes for more sustainable DeFi. It makes for more sustainable crypto. It makes for more long-term view perspectives from LPs. So I think overall, it's like what I take as the big shift from 2025. It's definitely what I was looking for late 2024, and it's what I hope to continue seeing in 2026.
Thank you so much. I'm actually surprised. Not actually surprised, but I think in this space things move so fast that none of you mentioned the regulation part of it.
I thought you were going to say AI.
That's another underlying
That was
aspect.
last year.
But I think 2025 for me, it's definitely the year of clarity. Like we kind of forget that in 2024, until the end of 2024, all the major companies in crypto were getting sued by the US government.
But we knew that was going to
Yeah.
happen in November 2024.
Exactly.
Okay.
But
That was
in
the-
a way, like the transformation that we saw this year, and of course it happened in the first quarter, second quarter, so it means like it was 10 years ago in normal years.
Yeah, yeah,
we kind of
exactly,
forget,
yeah.
but it's definitely, I was educated in a way that you should be grateful for the things that happened to you.
I'm super grateful.
And that one was a big mark, and I believe that we still have a long way to go. And the Genius Act went through. We got the regulation that helped a lot with the stablecoins, but we still have the Clarity Act to be approved, and there is still a long way to go. And of course, the rest of the world still need to catch up to that. And in Europe, we have MiCA going on, and I hate talking about regulation, but
Yeah, it's a
definitely
necessary
But it's an
evil.
important
It
step.
was an
Yeah.
important
evil.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
really legitimizes the industry to
Yeah.
move to the next step. Right?
Yeah.
What do you feel that was like the biggest shift in the last months, and what do you feel like it's going to be a surprise this year? If you want to take a dent at that, I know that it's kind of risky to
No
to do
pressure
it.
asking this like on the spot. Right?
No,
Like,
and we are not recording this at all. Like no one is going to share this, so you can say whatever you want.
Like in the last 3 months, you say?
In the last months, like biggest shift and something that you could see like this is going to pan out in 2026 as something that people are going to pay a lot of attention. And for example, you mentioned privacy. I think privacy is one of those things. Like in the beginning of the year, no one was caring that much about privacy, and then stablecoins
Yeah.
started picking up. So
Yeah, I
was
have-
a,
Yeah,
was a
I would
shift.
go for.
Yeah, go.
But José Pedro, if you want to take a dent at it,
Yeah. I mean, I was working at Aztec for almost 3 years, so privacy was in my day-to-day life, and it's good now to see from the outside, from the EVM ecosystem side, and see things panning out. And I think things are slow, and things will be slow because developing in privacy is much more difficult than developing with just a normal EVM contract. They are different. Some things execute on the client side, so there are race conditions. Time has a much bigger impact on how things execute. You may actually need to wait for your phone to do things. So like 10 seconds for a transaction means 10 seconds without Twitter, which is insane. So these things will maybe be part of our, and we need to, that's a price that we will have to pay regardless of the protocol that we use. Even if you use a FHE protocol or MPC protocol, not only a ZK protocol, all of these will involve privacy, but there's a price to pay in terms of UX and UI. So I think things will be slow, but they will pan out slowly, but maybe still in 2026, yes.
okay, cool. João.
So for the last few months, I guess what I saw that I wasn't expecting is, I guess, just how quick the institutionalization of DeFi happened. I think
Yeah.
we've been talking about that for such a long time, and we always thought that the big boys would come in. I think it's been a surprise to see how much they've come in, how quick they've come in, how much they've committed. I think now you're seeing DeFi protocols powering earn functionalities on sexes, on fintech companies, fintech applications, and it's almost normal. And that definitely wasn't the case beginning of 2025. The change in perception of DeFi from a niche market to a technology with potential for just money programmability has been just incredibly fast, and I think that's really my surprise in 2025. I never expected to see such a quick transformation. And my pick, I guess, for 2026 surprise is maybe not so surprising, but I'll put it my chips on prediction markets for breakout year. For breakout year.
That was my answer.
Oh, I mean, I take that back. I take that back.
It's fine. No, continue what he said.
No, that's it. I'll leave. You can go.
No,
deep now.
my biggest surprise was the huge demand of prediction markets, the huge use. Because we had prediction markets before, decentralized prediction markets before. Remember Bet Protocol before the 2016, 2015? It never, BPro, it never really, what's the other one? Polka markets, it never took off. The use case was there, but people didn't get it at least. Only, I think, around Trump's inauguration, on that moment, things started to heat up. Not sure it was on purpose or not, but the thing that surprised me was not even the volume, was the accuracy of how prediction markets actually correlate to real stuff. Even in DeFi and
Absolutely.
stuff, you see huge HFT firms now using prediction markets as a good data source, and that for me was extremely surprising.
Yeah.
I
It's
need
pretty
to.
big. Can
Yeah, go
can you try to guess without checking how big is the Portuguese election? How the volume in
Yeah.
the Portuguese election
I have no idea.
markets?
me neither.
I can tell you because I checked it this morning.
Someone wants to guess? Anyone wants to guess?
A B?
Oh yeah, 90 million.
Okay, I was over by
It's-
900.
Should we be happy or disappointed? What do you
91
think?
million.
It's quite surprising.
It's very surprising. It's just a small country,
Yeah.
and you get 90 million in a prediction market for a Portuguese presidential election. Only going up, right?
Isn't that wash trading a little bit as well?
Well, let's assume not.
Okay, yeah.
It's other countries as well, I would
Yeah.
assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
So it's pretty
surprising, and one of the data points that I've also found very interesting is how much it changes between politics, sports, even on a daily basis. Like if you go in the weekends when there are more sports events, you see the sports picking up, and then on the week you have more politics and stuff like that. So it kind of informs you a little bit about the future. And it's very interesting to see how that has been growing.
Actually, on that topic, I think we're going to see a lot more tooling around prediction markets, maybe synthetic products on top of prediction markets.
Yeah.
This is really just the beginning, right, of an emerging sector. So just like you have a million tools in DeFi, in privacy, in Bitcoin yield, this is the thing.
Synthetic prediction markets. That's good.
Even more, yeah.
So, my next question, and you can go into that. You were talking a little bit about the what is going to be developed next. Like in terms of technology, what are you seeing that it's exciting you, and that you feel that we need more of that?
We
to keep
can't
in
say
this-
AI, right?
You can say
Yeah.
AI, yeah. You can definitely say AI, but anything goes.
I'll go
Like,
then.
go ahead, João. Now you're first.
Yeah, I think I'll go for...
Yeah.
I think the most recent thing I saw that really interested me was actually super specifically a new design for AMM pools and how you program pools to be much more efficient than pairs, basically. So how you group AMM
you
pools
lost
to have
half of the
multiple.
people here, but
my bad,
you
my
can
bad.
continue.
I think DeFi primitives are getting much better. That's what excites me the most, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say privacy. I think chip design is gonna be a big deal, because that also touches AI, but this certainly touches who produces our chips and where and how much can they get, how much can they improve at the micro scale that they work with. And I think that's going to improve a lot. There's going to be more investment, which doesn't mean a lot of breakthroughs, but certainly kind of a decentralization of who produces the chips, and this is something that involves politics as well, and so that's an example of something happening in tech that will maybe change the world that we live in. Maybe sparkle some wars. We hope not, but it could happen. So yeah, in terms of tech, like pure tech, I think that's the development in the chip design and the manufacturing will change a lot.
Cool. Tiago.
Sorry, I'm going to say AI, but very specific. I hate that all the big models that we see, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they're all censored. So that you cannot really ask anything. And I understand why they're doing that. You have liability. And I'm actually in my house where I'm building a small cluster just to have my own non-censored, open weights, open models. And I'm very excited to see more providers doing that. And I think hopefully crypto people will have a big input in that, because it's kind of, aligns with the same vision of uncensored data for everyone. So that's what I'm most looking for.
Super interesting. Cool. And censorship is a big topic. I think we are talking a lot about privacy, and sometimes people don't understand why that's relevant and needed. And I think in the current political turmoil, it's becoming more evident why this kind of technologies make sense, and we should fight for them. So I'm glad that you brought that up. One question that I have, and actually I asked this today, for example, to Michael from Pitt, like what he thinks about and what you guys think about these corp chains from Robinhood, Stripe, Circle. What is your thinking about that? Like, is there room for all of them? Is that Fugazi? Wants to start, like taking a
Can I?
shot at it?
Yeah, go for
Can
it.
I start?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very pro, honestly, and I think more than pro, it's not a matter of opinion. It's Ethereum. Like Vitalik recently published a post about his vision for Ethereum. I don't know if you guys saw, and he talked about the freedom of money, and I think that's very much like a position on a spectrum, right? And like on the other end, you have companies that have a need for privacy, right? And they have a need for control, and they're much more regulated. And these aren't in the same place in that spectrum, I think, right? So I think there's a place for the open economy and programmable money for all on chains like Ethereum, and I think there's a place for private blockchains with more control, like Tempo from Stripe,
Yeah.
like Canton Network, which has a lot of institutional proof of concepts. I think we'll kind of progress to this dual reality, and I see it as a sign of maturity, and I welcome it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ethereum people don't like when I say this, but it seems like Gavin Wood was right all along, and the Polkadot architecture is actually better. And if you see the roadmap, Ethereum roadmap, it kind of looks like that. Like you do have one big chain, and then you have all the small chains that actually don't even need to produce blocks if there's nothing in there. They just produce blocks when there's something. A bit like parachains that Polkadot did use. And this is really cool. And honestly, there was nothing wrong with the Polkadot design. And so there was nothing wrong with the new Ethereum design. And so this idea of having this kind of parachains, we call them rollups or L2s, and they produce blocks, they produce their own canonical chains, and then they settle on Ethereum using either fault proofs or ZK proofs or whatever they want to do. This is powerful, and it doesn't scare me, because in the end, all stablecoins, you can have your stablecoins frozen as well. And that's just because how the nature of money works. Like if you have money in your bank and you commit a crime, then the bank will freeze your account, and there's nothing you can do about that. And I think that's actually good. So we want this to happen in a kind of a rollup or an L2 chain, and so there is no censorship at the base layer, and so you still have the freedom, and then you can have the privacy. So freedom and privacy, but then you can play with the rules that you agree to play when you pay with euro or with dollars or whatever. And so this is the world of the interoperability, and that's probably one of the challenges that we're going to have, and you're probably going to ask that question, so I'm answering it already. I think interoperability between different L2s is going to be the biggest difficulty in the next year. So yeah.
Tiago,
What's the specific question again? Sorry, because it evolved. So I'm
what do you think about all of these corp chains from Circle,
Corporate changes.
like the corporate
Blockchains.
chains like
corporate chains.
Blocks,
Okay,
yeah,
I thought
exactly.
chains.
Stripe, Robinhood, all of them are launching their own chains.
I was surprised with Tempo, to be honest. That was, but a good surprise. I think I have nothing against it, and I don't really have an opinion, to be honest. I just don't.
I have a second
Sorry.
opinion, maybe if I can.
Yeah,
If I can add one.
yeah, go for
I stole one from you from before, and I'll give you this one.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, ultimately, if you're Stripe, like the technology is there for everyone to use, right? If you're Stripe, you want all the distribution. Why would you give that up, that deal effectively to someone else? Why would you give that a business opportunity to someone else? You're just going to take it, right? And so same thing for Robinhood, same thing for these large players that have all the distribution, they can produce all the volume, they'll just monetize all that volume themselves. So ultimately, even if we scrape everything away, that's just it. It's just better for them to do it themselves.
Now I get what you mean when you say parachains. Now I understand. It made sense.
Okay, moving on. What is going to die in 2026, or what do you hope?
So I think like you already see like the duopoly, not really, right, but the overwhelming dominance of Ethereum and Solana, and I think you starting that translates to kind of two dominant developer ecosystems. Maybe you can speak about this much better than me. I think what the flip side of that is that like more insular ecosystems with different languages are going to start struggling more and more because the pool to do products in these languages is going to start being bigger and bigger. So I just see like ecosystems with alternative languages struggling, basically. Do you think that's true?
Probably, yeah. I was thinking of. I mean, this is a hot topic, maybe, but I think alt-EAs will probably die. So if you hold any Celestia, any Tia or Eigen or anything.
Maybe you could briefly explain what a DA is.
Yeah, sorry. So when you have rollups like L2 chains, they actually have to post the actual transaction data to some ledger. And so you usually back in the day we would just post it on Ethereum, but it was a long list of transactions, a lot of data, so it was very expensive. So Ethereum set up to solve that with blobs, and the latest Ethereum upgrade, which was in December, I think, basically just scaled that solution so natively. So this kind of what we call the DA, data availability. But in the meantime, there were many projects that provided alternative data availability solutions. Just to mention a few, maybe the famous ones, Celestia, Eigenlayer, and Avail, and others. And so I think with Ethereum scaling, with Ethereum blobs, so the native solution of blobs, of DA, scaling the way that it has been scaling, and the latest upgrade, again, is a huge increase to the number of, the amount of information you can post on Ethereum. I think there will be less and less reasons for people to use alternative DAs. So, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't say this as someone that works in rollups, but I think they'll die. I think they'll die.
I agree, but that's not my answer. Sorry.
Do you have anything else that you want to kill?
Yes, but it's kind of I'm not sure if I'm going to insult anyone's business model. But I've been thinking about this a lot. You know this because I told you. It really pisses me. Sorry. I love RWA. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I would love to buy assets of any form of choice. I was also working in finance. One of my first job was in finance. Was in Barclays Capital. But the problem with RWA is I want to buy a treasury bond. Let's say treasury bond or whatever, or a stock in crypto. The problem is most people don't know is that when you buy a token that represents a stock, you're not actually buying anything. It's called counterparty risk. So you buy the token, and if the token holder, the one that should have the actual stock, dies, you're out of money. There's no reserve, there's no nothing. And I wish those died to protect the consumers, to be honest. Because literally right now, there's no regulation to protect those buyers. I think there should be like a lot more companies like Ondo Finance. They actually took the effort in talking to the banks, made personal relationships with the banks, the issuers, the governments, did the whole groundwork and build something that can actually scale and can actually accommodate a lot of types of assets. So I think we should have more on the finances of the world, not just limited to the US. We have a lot more markets in the world, like Portugal, Europe, India. Yeah.
Yeah, well said.
That's
Agreed.
fine.
I think it's a great.
So it's not. It's not gonna die. I hope they die, just to protect people.
Well,
Yeah, I think it's a great point. And a lot of these financial Legos, it's very opaque, and I think it's a lot against the issues of what crypto was built for,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
which is bringing transparency to the financial system and not more opacity.
Yeah, they're opaque until they fall. And when they fall, then you have a new Celsius or a new FTX.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
becomes very clear very fast for a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, we saw that this year with Stream already, right? So it happened
Yes.
in 2025
Yes.
already. Yeah.
Cool. We are approaching the end of my questions. The last one is, what advice do you have for someone that wants to build something new in this space? And you can go through, this is what I'm excited about, this is what I'm seeing that could be exciting the market and a good opportunity. So take it the way that you prefer, and you can do it differently. But there is people in the audience that are new to the space or building new stuff, or maybe someone listening at home in 2027, and it'll be very useful.
I can go here first for the first time in the chat. You have them, even if you don't know how to code yet, you live in the best couple of years to actually start something, because you can take two things that really excite you. You can take like Claude or an AI chatbot that does miracles and just build a bank. You can actually build a bank today. And that's like, it's never been done. So I'm very excited about that, and I think you could literally go to your house and build a bank. That's amazing. So.
Yeah. I would advise everyone to learn about zero knowledge.
He's going to say private. You changed to zero knowledge.
Progress.
That's progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not only for privacy, but I guess zero knowledge is for succinctness also. And so I think there's a place for developers to learn about zero knowledge, but also for marketing people, for product people, to understand what it enables. Because in the end, developers are just a bunch of geeks. They'll not ever, agree on anything.
Thanks.
Right? Yeah. I know I was one. So, but as product developers, you are the ones that are gonna manage that and have their ideas and then put them into practice. And having zero knowledge in your tool belt will be huge, especially if privacy does catch on. But even if it doesn't, then you see Succinct that is proving optimism stack chains as a way to not have fault proofs, for example. And you'll have big computations, including, I don't know, maybe big, we were talking a few days ago about like settlement, for example, being done using ZK. We were doing about, there's so much computation that is big that you could represent in a small way using zero knowledge. So I would advise everyone to be ready in 2026 for either working with ZK or building with ZK or investing in something that is built with ZK. But I think it's going to explode, and so not only privacy.
Cool. João.
I'll go at the question a slightly different way. Instead of saying anything for you to explore, build on, I would say, imagine you want to build in crypto, you don't know what to start looking at, you don't have an insight, so to speak. Go to the research, go through the research and go look at the blogs from leading firms and thought leaders in the space. Go look at what Paradigm is saying, go look at what Pantera is looking at, go look at what A16Z thinks are 2026's top picks, right? Look into those design spaces, what are all of them agreeing on? Maybe you should pay attention to that and take it from there.
Fantastic stuff.
and look what we already have in our traditional financial markets and what has not been done.
That's a good one as well. That's a good one as well.
So that's a good, yeah. Follow the money.
Thank you so much. So you might think that was the last question, but actually none of you talked enough about AI. So we need to talk about
I did.
it.
I talked
You talked about it, yeah.
I did.
I didn't even, yeah.
So last question, like, and then we move to questions from the audience. But like, how do you see the world changing this year through AI, and what crypto can benefit from it? Accelerated, or whatever you are thinking about it.
I have no fucking idea. We don't know, right? We don't know. I think there's, like, it's crazy if you watch these videos from Will Smith eating spaghetti, like from, I don't know, when was it? 3 years ago, maybe. And you look at them now, and it's you already have Reddit subreddits of is this AI or not, because it is becoming increasingly harder. And the development is huge in such a small amount of time that we just have no idea. We just have no idea. Everyone is saying these days, oh yes, AI is amazing for coding, which is a surprise. Like, no one a year ago would ever say that. Oh, it's amazing for coding.
It just got good 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's something like
Opus
that.
4.5.
Yeah,
that was it.
Exactly. It's like now it's good at coding. Now everyone agrees that it's good at coding. But it's not that good for big code bases. Just wait. Just wait. Like, we have no idea. So, yeah.
Just enjoy the present, guys.
Yeah, just enjoy.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I would say maybe, like, I think it's very obvious or cliche to go the AI agent route, but I think, like, when you look at, like, allocating money, it's all about, like, a position on a risk return curve, right? So, like, I think if that can be a decision that AI can make, you're just gonna end up with a fundamentally different way of looking at money, right? And that means maybe all of DeFi is gonna need to change as well. Maybe all of our end customers are AI bots acting on behalf of someone else, right? And that means front ends are useless, right? And you're just optimizing for that value prop, that combination, and that just reduces everything to the number or to the combination. And maybe that's okay, but I think that's potentially a, like, monumental shift in the industry if that goes through. Yeah.
Thank you so much.